Feeling like Jackson. Moonwalk, man, I slide backwards. Smooth talk in a mic yapping. Crew on, tenor like trapping. Crew all in the right fashion. Suit on, looking like platinum. You all litty like matches. You don't want smoke like that. God on everything I made. Prayers up, man, it's all happening. Southside hitter where I stay. Shouts out if you knew that one. Man, I stay smooth like criminal, pitiful. Only doing knee-high pinnacles. Be wild, my feet fight like residual. Don't mean to belittle, but oh, you know, minimal. Oh, the flow cynical. Oh, he's so spiritual. Holy ghost, I might show the hope visual. Show the pros just what gold they don't listen to. Don't mean to belittle, but oh, you know, minimal. Old school printer like Jackson. Moonwalk killer like Jackson. Throw shade, hit it right back. Oh no, don't do him like that, son. Whoa, and I glide backwards. Also, and I'm like Blazzzin. Moonwalk killer Mike Jackson. Oh no, don't do him like that, son. Why did they wanna be stealing my thunder? I never did nothing up under 100. I'm running and coming up quicker than others and bringing
what
the
up, Jen?
Sick with the justice, I'm sickening and coming quick to the juggle level. When I go super sane, who the main? You the main. I don't need a flex, no Gucci gang. Batman stash like Bruce Wayne. Spitfire lit like Wu-Tang. Boom in the room, boom. Had to go zoom right through to the next moon. I'm a smooth dude, black shoes and I dress cool. I'm a new school, I drew like ice sneeze and I bless you. I rock the fedora. I'm sorta important when I turn an igloo up in the water. I'm borderline scorching disorder in the order. I murder the track. Legend of Korra, I'm bending the water and making these waves. I'm ripping and sourcing the quarter. The sources you order, be cautious. Reverse rigor mortis, I'm bringing it back. Old school killer like Jackson. Moonwalk killer Mike Jackson. Throw shade, hit it right back. Oh no, don't do him like that, son. Whoa, and I glide backwards. Also, and I'm like Blazzzin. Moonwalk killer Mike Jackson. Oh no, don't do him like that, son.
What up? It is so good to be back in the break room. As much I loved rooming with Jason. Having Chris there all week. I would do it again in a heartbeat. But as far as breaking goes, Jen, how you doing? As far as breaking goes, it's very, very hard to break on a little tiny table in front of a TV when nothing works. Like it was like a universal remote, so we couldn't hook it up as a monitor. I was out of my element. I like to be comfortable in my break room. So next year it's in Atlantic City. State's closer to me. Like it's like a hop, skip, and a jump for me to get to Atlantic City. So next year we will. I already said I never have an intention of setting up the show again. Being at the show, being with the people, that was the best. I will do that forever. I want to be with everybody in the show, going out to eat, having fun. So we're gonna get into a podcast this week. We're gonna do a full recap. I may even do like a brief recap on the site. But man, I want to get into so much about the show. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to rip this quick because I have some stuff I have to get to UPS. We already filled our first Pro Set Sports Break 3 boxes. I'm going to post around 2 of that. This stuff looks like it's going to be so much fun to rip. Jen's sneaking at work, watching quietly. I love it. But yeah, we'll break in our hotel room, and I'll take a setup. What I was getting is I'm so close. I will take as a full setup for Jason and I and whoever else wants to come into the room and break. That was another cool thing, although it's a little distracting as well. It was cool having people live there with you breaking, which was actually, it was more fun breaking in the hotel room than it was actually breaking at the show 2 years ago, whatever it is now, because it just felt like it was like we had more engagement within the room. But Marlon Tupalotu, how about real quick, because I believe he falls in the Eagles, and Eagles former Carson Wentz quarterback for the Eagles, former Eagles quarterback with the Colts now, out 5 to 12 weeks. That's a heck of a range. Rashawn Slater, OL is going to be our first one. Rashawn Slater. That, to me, is the biggest news in the league right now. I think that really changes the whole dynamic of that AFC South. I think that I have the Colts winning that. I think it's Titans for the, that's going to be a Chargers. I think the Titans lock that down pretty easy now. And Liam Eichenberg. I will say this about Onyx. We went to the Onyx party, and This early Onyx product, don't like. It's been good. We pulled Herbert's, Lance, and we pulled a lot of nice stuff. Onyx is taking it to a whole new level. This was like introductory level Onyx, and they're taking Onyx. Onyx is going to be insane. And Wild Card and Pro Set, like all these non-Panini brands, and I'm not calling them on license anymore because of the conversation that I had. They're licensed. They're just not NFL licensed. It just doesn't have the NFL, but they're all licensed products. This is gonna be. We may have to random this off. I don't know if you got picked up. Jaguars or the Dolphins, is it? Oh, Dolphins. My bad. Dolphins on this one. Yeah, and you know what? What's crazy is every time you go to a show like that, the National, Chris, you'll say this next time too, I guarantee it. And I'm sure you're already saying it. You learn things you would immediately do differently. All right? So the first time, it was hard for me because the first time when I drove to Chicago, right? So I had my car, so I just had if I bought anything, I could just pack it in the car. Man, I wasn't going to even pack a checked bag this time. That would have been a massive mistake. I wish I would have checked 2 bags, honestly. Because there was so much more I wanted to buy. I would have stayed for the last day and went and tried to catch some of the deals, and I know what specific things to look for now as far as like sealed stuff on the last day. But every year, it changes a little bit too. Last year it was all about those silver national packs. This year you had to buy crazy stuff to get them, but they're actually really good packs. I probably should have bought some of that stuff. So again, you'll learn things, but then they'll switch it up on you, and you'll have to relearn them anyhow. But always have room to take stuff home. We're going to do another wild card tonight, but we're going to do this Pro Set first. 2 of these. Ooh, starting out with one of those super sexy ones. Sage was one of the few I did not necessarily see set up there. Fanatics had a couple stands. Wild Card had a very nice stand. Onyx was cool. I got to email some of those guys too. Started out for Dallas. Simi Fihoko for the Dallas Cowboys. Again, not all these are numbered, but they do have colored parallels. Dallas Cowboys going out to John Stevener. What did you guys like about seeing us at the National? Like, what did you like that we showed you? What did you like to what would you have wished we would have done more? I'm curious about that stuff. Would you like us to do something, like show you more of it? Do like a full walk around? Avery Williams, that's going to be to the Falcons. Atlanta Falcons going out to William Butler. That awesome parallel there. And Dylan Radunes, offensive lineman for the Tennessee Titans with the red parallel. We do have some things we have to run yet. Fantasy spots to give away. I have that Jan Stenerud hat to give away. 2 hitless credits from the Battle Break. There we go for the Detroit Lions. Jamar Jefferson. Detroit Lions going out to John. John Stabe, fairly new guy. Welcome, John. He has a nice autograph. And for the New Orleans Saints, Stevie Scott III. There we go. And what's up? Dylan Stoner. Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders going out to Shirley. Josh Shirley. I will say this. So I know that people are like, I don't want to I don't really necessarily like the on-license stuff, and we learned that's a bad word, because it is all licensed that they're signed the license agreements. So I guess NFL product is maybe a better way to say it. But the bins that had these cards in it, for not a massive amount of money, $5, $10, dude, those bins were loaded with people. Loaded. They were getting emptied. People were buying collections to stock their bins up with these kind of cards in it. Ben Scoenret for the LA Rams, and I think it was kind of like the way of prospect hunting almost without spending a fortune. LA Rams going out to Jen. You got one, Jen. Alex, I tell you what, if we didn't go through the Toronto scare about 3 years ago, I would be a little worried. But dude, if the Toronto deal didn't go through, I'm not worried about it. It's an empty threat. They'll find a way to get that. There we go. Wyatt Davis for the Vikings. That's 5 out of 25. I mean, it was like, we're moving to Toronto. We're at least going to play half our games there, if nothing else. It's a done deal. Deal with it. And it just never happened. It never happened. And they were like, the deal was locked. So it's going to take a lot more. Now, I'm not saying it never would happen, but it's going to take a lot more than them saying, we're going to move to Austin if the taxpayers don't pay. Because it's easy to say, oh, Austin will foot the $150 billion bill, until they're like, hey, we're going to need that money up front to do the stadium. Yeah, I'm not worried. The Austin Bills, I don't know. It just doesn't have the appeal to it. Quiddy Pay for the Colts. It's not like I couldn't pick another team. Greg McCrae, or I wouldn't stick to the Bills. Listen, it's a 5-hour drive to Buffalo for me. I go to like 2 games a year. I just as much hop on a plane and fly to Austin. I don't live in Buffalo. I don't live in New York. It ain't gonna hurt. Listen, it is not gonna hurt my feelings if the Bills move to Austin. I'll be like, hey, now I get a reason to go to Austin once a year. Greg McRae, free agent. We're gonna have to random that one off. The only thing that I think that bothers people by is if they, like that would hurt, that would destroy Buffalo. Like honestly, New York, Northern New York, they would be devastated. Kenneth Gainwell for the Philadelphia Eagles. As you can hear, my voice has not fully recovered from the events that transpired this week. It was quite the weekend. Colin Hill for the Cincinnati Bengals. QB free agent pickup QB. Cincinnati going out to Chase Rote. Come and be a Lions fan? I'd rather watch college football. No, I always liked the Lions, but they got rid of Galladay and he went over to the Giants. Ironically, this sounds awful, but I'd probably, if I were to go to local games, it'd probably end up being the Giants. They're closer to me than the Bills are. I like Danny Dimes. I've been to the stadium. It's cool. Otis Anderson. It's saying he's a free agent. I'm going to look both these up. I think Otis Anderson ended up... Oh, no, he didn't. He got hurt and he retired. So we're going to have that one to give away, too. They have the Sabres still. Yeah, that's what stinks. The Pagulas absolutely destroyed the Sabres to build up the Bills. Ronnie Perkins, defensive end for the Patriots. New England Patriots going out to Jamar. Ronnie Perkins. And Samuel Cosme for the Washington football team. When are they going to pick a name? Have they announced one yet? I don't think as a Washington fan I would be buying a lick of gear outside of a jersey of a player because they change all the time anyhow. But I'm not buying Washington football team shirts, right? And then they get a logo and you're like, now I have to buy all the new shit. Ian Book for the Saints. Who knows? He may get a shot. Nobody told me what they would have liked to see more at the Nationals. It was cool seeing Jason and Stephen Brake on the main stage. Dame Brown, another one for the Washington football team. That blue ink looks cool with the jersey there, too. We will be doing 2 $5 hitless credits. What I may do is take today's break, since they're all a little bit smaller, and put them all in for a national fantasy spot. Mark Webb going out to the Chargers. We have another one for the Chargers. Trey McKitty for the Chargers. And Patrick Surtain, Denver Broncos going out to William Butler with the bronze. Round 1, pick 9, Patrick Surtain, that is. There we go. Yeah, do you know how much it takes to move a team? It's not just like, oh, they're going to build a stadium, so let's go. I mean, Look how long it took to get a team like out in LA. Back in LA, I should say. And then all of a sudden they're just like, they have two, and then one can't sell. It's bigger than that, I think. We'll see, though. We'll see. Time will tell. All I know is that I'm worried more about this season. I need the Bills to be good this year. More and more, the more and more I read, man, they got these Browns winning the AFC, like, best record, I should say. And nobody's buying it. No one's even like, oh, there's no way. I don't know, man. That team is pretty well-rounded. Everyone just, like, goes on years past. Tedderell Slayton, that's going to be 6 out of 30. Real quick, because we haven't done this in a while. Who do you guys have in winning that AFC North? Who do you have winning the AFC North? Tedderell Slayton is going to be for the Packers. I agree with you, Alex. That's another thing, too, is that 3 teams in Texas, although Texas is huge. Tyler, what'd you say on my page that Facebook gave you a violation? Rashad Weaver, I believe, is the Miami Dolphins. I'm going to double check here. You have the Ravens winning, Alex? I have the Browns winning that division. Tennessee Titans on Rashad Weaver. I have the Browns taking that division. I think, though, that the Ravens could sneak in as a wild card. Cornell Powell for the Kansas City Chiefs out of 50. Got one for the Chiefs. Only Alex and John want to answer the AFC North. Steelers, Browns, Ravens, or Bengals. Although a lot of people big on Burrow. I don't see why, if he's going to be as good as people think he's going to be, they wouldn't have as much of a shot. Dusty, are you being serious? You really have Pittsburgh in there? I mean, I just don't know what they're going to do about a line, but who knows? Maybe they work some magic. Jacoby Stevens. Jacoby Stevens is the Philadelphia Eagles. That's a purple out of 7. 5 out of 7 there. Browns, Pittsburgh, Ravens, Browns. So the Browns and the Ravens 3-2 there. Who we see this was? The Eagles. Eagles going out to Vody. And Elijah Moore for the Jets, closing it out of 25. If we don't pull a boomer out of this last box, I'm just going to go ahead and give a national fantasy spot. We got to pull something nice out of this. That wasn't even a boomer in that box. All right. Like I said, if we don't pull a boomer out of at least one boomer out of this last box, we are going to give away a national fantasy spot. I do got to document all that stuff yet. And we got to get that early draft set up this week. There was no way that was getting done at National. Man, I missed the whole day of the show at National. $1.1 billion, and they want the taxpayers to cover. I mean, that's not like it's an insane amount for a stadium, but part of it is the league is telling Buffalo, the Bills, they need a new stadium. They need a new stadium. Absolutely have to have a new stadium. And they're like, our stadium's fine the way it is. And they're like, nope, we want you to have a new one. And then, so they're like, well, then the taxpayers are going to have to pay for it. So they're kind of like, it's this power struggle. That's where the threat from Austin comes from. It's kind of like when all these California businesses are like, all right, we'll take our business to Texas. And they're like, see you later. But they don't necessarily move. For the Bills, out of 75, Rousseau. And seeing him more and more, out of 35, Jalen Twyman. And that is going to be going out to the Minnesota Vikings. You just feel like the Ravens are all around best? Well, yeah, I don't know if dealing with success is the issue. I mean, if you have a team that good, the success will come. Des Fitzpatrick. We may be giving ourselves a fantasy spot here. Des Fitzpatrick going out to Tennessee Titans. All right, we got ourselves an Elijah Mitchell. Out of 50, that goes to the Niners. San Francisco Niners going out to Carey. Well, happy 6-day early birthday, Noah. All right. There she is. Who? Mac Jones. Patriots. Going out to Jamar. We got ourselves a Mac Jones. You know what? I'm not calling it a banger. It's not numbered. I'm giving out a fantasy spot for the National League. The National Year-Long League. Because, man, we could have done better on that break. I did say earlier we're going to have a warm-up break. So I guess that's our warm-up break. We're going to ease back into it. Hey, at least it wasn't a remarkably expensive break. That's one good thing we can say. A lot of teams hitting cards, but we're going to give away a fantasy spot and $2 hitless credits as well. Imagine if then we went to Chicago or Boston. I know. It's just nuts how the NFL's been on the Bills nuts for a long time. All right, we got Patrick Surtain for the Denver Broncos going out to William. We have the Trey McKitty for the Chargers. LA Chargers going out to Justin Willanen. We had Mark Webb for the Chargers as well to Justin. Dame Brown for the Washington football team going out to Colton Hankey. We had Ian Book for the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans Saints going out to James Wilmoth. We had Sam Cosmi for the Washington football team. And Ronnie Perkins for the Patriots going out to Jamar Evans. We had Colin Hill for the Cincinnati Bengals going out to Chase Rote. And Kenneth Gainwell for the Philadelphia Eagles. That one's going to be going out to Vody. Quiddy Pay for the Indianapolis Colts. Poor Colts, man. They can't catch a break. Luck goes, then they get Wentz, and he's down already. Davis for the Vikings out of 25 going out to Brad Holste. Ben Skoenreck for the Rams going out to Jen Cottingham. And Dylan Stoner for the Raiders going out to Josh Shirley. We have Stevie Scott for the New Orleans Saints going out to James Wilmoth. And Detroit, Jamar Jefferson. That's a good card there. Detroit Lions going out to John Stabe. And we got ourselves Dylan Rondeus for the Titans going out to Nate the Great Zimmerman. Avery Williams for the Falcons going out to William Butler. We had Simi Fioco for the Dallas Cowboys going out to John Stevener. And Eichenberg for the Dolphins going out to John. Rashawn Slater for the Chargers. LA Chargers going out to Justin Willanen. And Elijah Moore going out to the New York Jets. It's Dougie Fresh in the building. Jacoby Stevens for the Philadelphia Eagles to Vody. Cornell Powell for the Kansas City Chiefs going out to Todd Allen. We also had Rashad Weaver for the Tennessee Titans and Nate Zimmerman. And for the Packers, Tedderell Slayton going out to Luke Roberts. Luke. The Tony Perkins, Alex. We were just talking about that movie. Elijah Mitchell going out to the San Francisco 49ers. That's Carey. And Des Fitzpatrick for the Titans as well to Nate. Nate getting 3. Minnesota Vikings is going to be Brad Holste with that Jalen Twyman. And Rousseau for the Buffalo Bills. Doug getting on both his teams. And then to bring it to a close for the New England Patriots, Jamar Evans with the Mac Jones. All right. First things first, we're going to do the 2 $5 hitless credits. Two $5 hitless credits coming on up. Let's hope I can still screen share this way. There we go. Two $5 hitless credits. Good luck, y'all. It is a 6. It'll play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It's going to be the Bears and the Steelers. So, Dylan and Seb each winning a $5 hitless credit for a future break. Now, we're going to give away the National Fantasy spot. Second and third will also get these cards. Second and third will get these as well. Here we go. And then, of course, second and third get those additional cards. I'm just stating that verbally. I'm not going to write it in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's going to be the Bills. Bills getting the fantasy spot. So that would be Dougie Berger getting a national fantasy spot. We have other spots. I'm just going to put him as number 1 for now until I figure that out. And then the Falcons and the Giants getting the bonus cards. All right, I got to get to the UPS before 5:30. I'm going to post a round 2 of that Pro Set Sports if you're interested in that. Check that out. That's going to post at 5, and then I'll be back to rip it here very soon, all right? I can't wait to catch up more with y'all about the National. I have so much more to share. I just didn't want to take up too much break time. We're going to go live with that without a break eventually here. Big release this week in Gold Standard. We got a big week ahead of us. Can't wait. We're going to do drafts this week. So much to do. All right, we'll be back.